Welcome to the Microsoft Security Insight Show. The show streams live at 5 every Wednesday evening on YouTube and Twitch and streamed directly into your ear the following Monday. Hosted by Edward Walton, Andrea Fisher, Rod Trent, and Brody Castle, the Microsoft Security Insight Show provides information, news, and tips on Microsoft security solutions.
Recorded December 14th, 2022. Happy holidays. Ho, ho, ho. Brody Castle and Rod Trent, a.k.a. The Funds. What's up?
Oh, man, you're excited. You're looking great, Edward. You're sounding great. You're in a great mood. I mean, I'm just having a great day, especially now because of you.
Well, maybe I got a promotion. Who knows?
Oh, okay. Well, if that's a live dropping of information right now, then wow, what a
that might be something to save for the Christmas episode, though. I don't know. That seems more Santa related.
We'll see. Yeah, I know. I had to today. I had to put real grown people's clothes on and go down to the Microsoft office in downtown Atlanta and present to the Small Business Alliance as well as a lot of SMBs on the state of cybersecurity for SMBs and SMCs today. And
you put on someone else's clothes today?
Yeah, I did. I don't have any clothes, right? I ran over to TJ Maxx and grabbed some clothes that I ran down, right?
Yeah.
No, it was getting downtown. The office is beautiful. They got a 4-star restaurant on campus.
Wow. Okay.
That's nice.
I'm waiting for my invitation. Anytime I hear the Atlanta Yards are
right, and then.
Oh no, bring us all down, Edward. Come on, get an expense account. Just get us down.
We can do it EBC. We'll figure it out.
We'll do it. Speaking of expense account, we got reminded today to put ours in. I haven't done one in 6 months. I got these things like, they were like, if you don't do it, you're going to eat it. So I got to have it in. I'm sure you got the email too. Everybody did. No, it was great. I had to get out of there. I was tempted to do the show from there. I would have been in no shape or form to be able to do it. There are so many Christmas things going on. I may have to go on Amazon and buy me a new liver, right? Get an extra one. It felt good to see everybody congregating again. It almost seems like 3 years ago, right? And I saw some people I hadn't seen in a while. Found out there's a super secret project going on down there. So I went into the wrong room and got escorted out. So yeah, well, no harm, no foul, right? Oh, so right. Good stuff. But other than that, talked about security offerings, how to build products and offerings for SMBs to fit into the market. My favorite topic, licensing. Yes. I got put on the spot, so I couldn't walk off. So I did that, and it's part of OKRs. Connects are coming up. Got to do it, right? Got to do it. What about you, Mr. Brody?
Oh, well, we also had our Christmas party here in Calgary on Friday. That was lovely. Good to see everybody. It was just an excellent night. I don't get a chance to go to the office all that much, so it was just nice to hang out with everybody. Mm-hmm. And other than that, I am busy, man. I'm probably going to start working with Canadian government maybe next year, so that's going to be pretty cool. I'm starting to take on some architect roles for a few banks, and so that's a nice little nudge up in my overall consulting career. That's probably where I'm going to hopefully get myself next year in terms of a career spot, so I'm really excited about that. And other than that, it's just busy until the Christmas break. Try and get as much done as you can, and then run some certs and do some training over the holidays, basically, when you're not spending time with your family and friends. So, that's all for me. What about you, Rod, on dial-up from a random hotel somewhere? Everything going well?
Yeah, it seems like dial-up, doesn't it? I don't know what's going on. It's a Hyatt. I have my little Hyatt membership, so they upgraded me. I got here, and I have this huge suite, and I'm literally only going to spend about this much of it. It's only used that much. Just right here. This is all I'm going to do. Not much going on. I don't want to take a lot of time. We have a lot of people, and we have to get Kristina on to talk just for a second. I am in Milwaukee. This is my absolute last thing that I'm doing this year before I move on to 2023. Supposedly. Well, I guess now I forgot I have to do the audio for the podcast and stick that out there before I leave. But I'm going to venture out tomorrow. I really don't have anything to do work-wise. I'm meeting with the Tanium folks tomorrow night. Don't have anything to do till like 5 o'clock. So they tell me there's a bronze Fonz here somewhere downtown Milwaukee where I have to go get my picture with. There's a bronze Fonz. So I'm going to, before I leave here, though, I'm definitely stopping by the Cunninghams for dinner. So that's about it.
The Cunninghams. You got to be
Mr.
old enough to
C.
get it.
Yep.
Yeah.
I know.
Hey,
I had to do that. Sorry.
Okay. I thought someone wasn't in the actual broadcast, but they are in. Mine doesn't scroll well.
So do we want to introduce Kristina? Let her talk about our panel? Yeah, excellent. Kristina, the floor is yours. Or sorry, Edward, I'll let you do it.
Yeah, man. Can I?
I get excited.
One day I take a shower and put clothes on. You won't let me be me. Okay.
Yeah, my bad.
So to all of our listeners, supporters, viewers, and everything else, we are blessed to have Miss Kristina Quick back on the show. She's awesome. We've never met in person, have we? Redmond? No. But anytime I need something done with the private preview accessibility around the security workloads in Azure and 365, hey, I forgot to do it. She gets me in, right? So I owe her more favors than I can count. And thank you so much. So without further ado, Miss Quick, reintroduce yourself to our listeners, and then maybe give a roundabout of what we're doing today, and then we'll go through our panel. Who put Kristina on mute?
You're on mute.
Kristina's on mute. Classic. Happens once a day. No.
Oh no.
Sorry,
oh,
Kristina.
No. Oh no.
You know sign language?
There you go.
Oh, it's funny because she just had it slightly beforehand.
Hey,
That's
just
odd.
keep your lips moving. We'll do lip sync. My name is
Yeah.
Kristina. Sorry. I really love people on this panel. I love to be on this show, and I always want to come back. And oh, darn it, they never invite me enough times. So I'm mad.
Well done, Rod. Well done.
Okay.
That's hilarious. Well, maybe we could let Kristina rejoin the call quickly. That might be the best bet. And let's super quick while she does that. Go around our panel and just do quick introductions, folks. Mona, do you want to go first, and we'll buy some time for Kristina?
Yeah, no, thank you.
Excellent.
Hi, everybody. My name is Mona Gadiri. I'm a director of product management at Blue Voyant. We were Microsoft's U.S. Security Partner of the Year this year, and I'm glad to be here.
Let's try it one more time, Kristina.
No, we can't hear
Still not
Kristina.
working.
Oh man, that's funny.
If you go to the settings part at the bottom, Kristina, where does it say your audio is coming from?
Test.
You're good.
You can hear me?
Yes. Super.
All right. I just removed my external speaker. It's having issues. Thanks so much for letting me join. These are a lot of my favorite people in one place. So it's actually really cool to see all your faces. By way of introduction, my name is Kristina Quick. I run our security private community for Microsoft. And so that's really an NDA-only community where we share about what's under development, what we're planning for, and the goal is really to get feedback on if that's what our end users want to see and how we can make it better. And so I have some of the best folks here on the line. Thank you, Mona, Morton, Truls, Bill, Raghu. I'm so grateful for all of you. And so I couldn't let a call go on without just joining and saying hi and telling you thank you. And I'm so glad that you're going to be sharing your experience today with everyone.
Awesome. Thanks, Kristina. Well,
Thank
we
you,
were just
Kristina.
doing introductions super quick while you were reconnecting.
Thanks for talking through that. Yeah, thanks for talking through that.
So Mona has already gone. So Martin, we're just going to go like this. You're next, sir.
All right. Yeah. Hello. My name is Morten. I'm joining from Denmark right now. So another Scandinavian here on the call, and I'm really happy to be here. And it's really great to see you guys' faces. So I've seen a lot of your names in chats and everywhere. So it's great to see you guys in real life. So yeah.
I'll give it a shot this time. Trolls?
Yeah, no, that's really good. No, yeah, my name is Truls. I'm coming in from Oslo, Norway. Yeah, no, it's hard to pronounce. It's Scandinavian languages are not very easy for non-native speakers, unfortunately. No, so I work in a company called Soprasteria as a security engineer. Yeah, and that's about me.
I'll let Brody have the easy one.
Bill, after you. Yeah.
G'day guys, my name's Bill, joining from New Zealand, here in Wellington, the SIEM architect at Health New Zealand, enjoying Microsoft Sentinel products and everything that they can do.
Bill, I may look you up next year. I will be in Australia for a month next year, and I got to run over to Auckland to see some friends. And plus, we've a guest on the show. Big shout out to Paul in Brisbane, so we'll be there. What's so funny, Brody?
You're just gonna swim over from Australia to New Zealand and say hi. That's all.
This is so not close.
Swim?
No, they're not close at all.
Not close.
It's only a 4 flight. But I've committed to come see my friend Tony in Auckland. If I do not come see him on that side of the planet, to him it's close, and I won't be in his good graces, so I better go see him. So, our next guest, Raghu.
Do you want to try my first name, full name?
It is Raghavendra.
You're very close. It's Raghavendra, but I go by Raghu. Mm-hmm. First of all, thanks for inviting me. I'm Raghu Bodhu. I'm based out of Dallas. I'm a technical director at Agile. I'm also the practice lead for threat protection. So XDR, primarily XDR and SIM side of it, right? So yeah, nice meeting you all.
How's things in Dallas? Cold, warm, rainy?
It's changing every day, you can't predict it. So one day you see like 70, 80s, and the other day you see like 30, 40s. So
I'm in Atlanta, Georgia, and they're predicting Saturday the high is 32.
We had snow yesterday in Brooklyn, so it already started.
Man,
it's getting cold.
I feel so bad for all of you. Minus 28 next week here in Canada, so that's Celsius. So have fun. Yeah.
I just moved from Huntington Beach, California, to Franklin, Tennessee. So I'm hoping to get my first snow this year, and I'm getting some of my first cold, although it's still relatively mild.
So I did not know you were in Franklin. I'm very familiar with the area. I almost moved there to Brentwood because I had an office in Cool Springs up in Nashville. Almost. Yeah, close. That area is fabulous up there where you live now. They don't even call it Nashville anymore. They call it Nash Vegas.
So. Yeah, Nashville is very much a Las Vegas. Franklin, we're in downtown. It's a great place to be.
I was there in September.
So if you ever come back, or anybody on this call is remotely close to me, I will drive because I'm from Southern California. I'm used to driving hours upon hours upon hours, and it doesn't bother me. So
I'll take you up on it when I come up. So, well, thanks everyone for joining this security roundtable. This was a brain share. Or an idea of one of the co-creators of the show, Franklin Grimberg. He's not available. He may be listening on, but he's doing personal stuff. And he thought it'd be a good idea after having Kristina on the show to talk about security impactors, influencers in this particular space. And I think Rod, you and him did most of the work on this, right? Putting all this together. I was not as involved in this one.
I think more or less just took notice when he did it, so that we could find it later. So yeah,
we do it. So how do we want to proceed with this? Is it just everybody jump in? We start talk. Kristina, what was the flow to this? Did you have an idea about how we were going to do this? Not to put you on the spot.
Well, I certainly could think of some things, but no, I was not part of the planning. I was just here to join and see everyone. I'm sure you all have a great number of insights, though, in terms of.
I have a question. I actually would love to ask some of the other participants, if I can volunteer a question.
Yes.
This is my first year, participating in the private security community, and I kind of found it via LinkedIn and actually following some of the people on this call on LinkedIn. And so I was just curious how each of you guys found your way into the program, and kind of who connected you in with the private security community. And if anybody wants to answer.
So it's kind of, even I joined this year, sometime, I guess, January. So I was going through the tech community and the other links, right? And I found this. Then prior to that, right? So, we were going with specific features, right? So you get the links, but not on the community side of it. So that's me.
Nice.
I think I found it on LinkedIn, searching, and it was a coincidence that I found it. So, but I've been really, really happy, and it's my second year now in the program. So I try to participate as much as possible that time permits. So I love it. So it's good.
So I know that in the field we often, talked about the private preview program to ensure that our customers knew about it, because talking to Sentinel and Defender and all these things, customers, they wanted, after workshops, they wanted to know what the next steps were. We're like, well, hey, join this really cool members only club, and to take advantage of this, to kind of take the next step. How many of you just raise your hand, were part of that versus finding it on LinkedIn? Because I've heard LinkedIn twice already, so that's pretty cool. That's good info to know. But how many were introduced to this by a customer? I mean, by someone at Microsoft. All right. Tools.
Yeah.
So
I think.
Oh
my goodness, we're not doing our job, Bill. All right, we're not doing.
I mean, to be
fair,
Kristina. We're a partner. I mean, so I think it's different. Whether you're participating as a partner or as a customer. And one of the things I really like about the private community is you get both. You get people who are practitioners, who are at partners. Like Morton and Truls, who are excellent examples of just like stellar leaders in the community, as well as folks like Bill, who are actively, excellently, asking the hard questions of how do we make Sentinel better? What about this? What about this log analytics change? What are we going to do about X, Y, or Z other thing, right? Which I think is really unique. I've been part of other private communities for other vendors, and just seeing that mix is really, I think, something that was special. Yeah, I think it's why I stayed. And why I've kept participating, kind of like Morton. I feel like I've been like, this has been an incredible opportunity. It's been really fun to learn from so many people.
Nice. Trolls, you were saying something earlier?
I found it by mistake, but it was we were having some issues with Sentinel actually, where there were some changes that were coming along that we didn't anticipate, or we were taken quite aback by them because they suddenly appeared overnight. Two of them I remember very good, because one of them, they broke our entire automation with playbooks and automation rules. So we had to scramble to fix it. And the other thing broke our deployment for playbooks by changing how many characters you could have in the name of the deployment. And so that was quite fun. So we had to go to Microsoft and ask, where can we find out about these things? Because we're obviously not doing a very good job of it. And so I think it was Kent Husvik in Microsoft Norway who put us onto it. I think it was 2 years ago. And so we've been participating very heavily ever since we found out about it. So very, very happy to be a part of it for sure.
You guys are gonna make me cry.
Yeah. So it's interesting to hear how everybody again. We still have Raj, you want to tell us how your interaction? How did you get involved? Right? Am I on mute?
No, you're not, sir.
I think, yeah.
Okay.
Did you ask Raghu?
Yes.
Oh. Okay, sorry.
Don't mind it. Don't mind us. We're bad with names. Yeah, Raghu.
So what was the question again? Sorry.
How did you find the private community? Did you already tell us?
Right. I think, like I mentioned, right. So I was looking at tech community, and I was reading some articles. Then I saw this private community. Then that's how I kind of onboarded into this. Then after a couple of months, I think I was onboarded to M365 community as well. So I'm part of both. So it was through the pretty much the tech community links.
So much better than the Yammer groups. I cannot tell you like how much better.
You don't like Yammer, Mona? Come on.
I mean, I love everybody and everything, but I prefer both the way the Teams is set up. It's very well executed, very well set up, very well managed. Kristina, you do a fantastic job, and so do the other moderators. But I just feel like it's just a really well run organization.
Yeah. And the only challenge is the timing sometimes, but somehow we are managing it. But good thing is they are recording all these sessions, right? So sometimes we go back and refer those things. So for me it's okay. I'm central, but people in West Coast, right? So it's very difficult for them, some of those calls.
Oh, that was odd. We were looking at Brody for a second.
Somebody clicked the only Brody button. That was weird. But yeah, no, Raghu, we heard you there. That's great. And Mona, I'm glad it's so organized. Kristina, great feedback for you and the team, right? Morton, you can add something there?
I actually also want to add that Kristina and the team are doing a fantastic job, and it's really great. And I'm also participating in multiple communities, and this is run so professional and everything, and you're listening to the feedback and adding more features, and it's working very well. And I also want to thank all the PMs that are part of this team, because they are also listening very well, and personally I've gotten to learn them also on a personal level, some of them as well. So it has it's really amazing to be part of.
That's so amazing. And for those of you who don't know, Morton does tours of the globe with his family and always finds our Microsoft team. That is where he is going, and he goes and hangs out with them. So he's probably met and spent time with these people as much as I have at this point.
Awesome. Oh, that's awesome. Bill, what about you? What are your thoughts on how you joining the community has gone and the value you get out of it?
So I got referred by one of the Microsoft guys here in New Zealand, and yeah, I think it's an amazing community. It's really well put together. I was getting up at 3 a.m. in the morning New Zealand time to actually participate in a lot of the meetings, and I remember Kristina just the pain that we sort of went through together.
Every time I saw Bill join, I knew what time it was, and my heart, it crushes when I think of what time it is during the middle of the night for you.
No doubt. So, Bill, do you stay up or do you get up early? What's the plan there?
I just stayed up.
Stayed up. Okay.
Yeah. And then you sort of start work at 8 o'clock in the morning. Was just carry on and just go to bed early. I mean, it wasn't every day. It was sort of like Thursday for me here in New Zealand. It wasn't, every couple of weeks. But yeah, the value I got out of it was amazing. So yeah.
Well, obviously, or you wouldn't keep doing it, right? So I'm really happy
exactly.
to hear that. Yeah. Mona, you were going to say something there?
Oh, I mean, I just said that's some commitment. I mean, I applaud anybody who's willing to get up in the middle of the night for anything. Over the last year, Blue Voyant has transformed definitely into a global company. I've been taking, some early morning calls, and man, do I empathize with you deeply. I have not done it at 3 o'clock in the morning though. I give this man a shirt, give him an award.
Yeah, Kristina, give him the swag.
What comes after the L5 badge? Kristina, is there something after we could give him? Seriously.
All right, I know, right? So speaking of swag, that's something I want to do so bad. I'm this close to just making and having my own swag to send to people.
You should just lease it back to Microsoft, right? Like, just put together a little package, contract it out. Expensive.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
I've heard everyone mention that their interaction with the community, private community, is around Sentinel. Are there any other channels or the security workloads that you guys frequent, or is Sentinel primarily where you guys insert yourself?
Oh,
It's
Defender
not
for
only-
Cloud. Oh, I love
Right.
Defender. Can I talk about Defender for Cloud for like just 2 seconds? I have to. It's
Go
been
ahead, we'll
it's
go to
been an
Raghu after.
incredible. It's just been an incredible journey this last year. Working with the Defender for Cloud teams around both integrating with other parts of the XDR suite. So a lot of the work bringing additional enrichments or being able to change some of the things in Defender for Cloud alerts have been so awesome to work with the team on. And just seeing all of the Azure Arc pieces, we've been planning the kind of AMA transition, starting to talk about, what are we going to do for customers who want to get off of MMA. And so it's just been really great to be able to talk to some of the other folks who are around doing Defender for Server stuff, because onboarding is still, got some kinks, being able to talk to folks in the community around some of the Defender for Cloud, Azure Arc stuff has been awesome. Just really huge fan. So
You seem very passionate about it. You wanted to get in there right away.
I'm a big fan of Defender for Cloud. I feel like Sentinel is great, but just wait. Like if you think Sentinel is great, there is just a ton in Defender for Cloud that we're excited about at Blue Voyant. So
No doubt.
Yeah, I spoke a lot about it today. Big shout out to Thomas, Azure Arc. Come back on the show.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Does anybody even come close to that capability? I know I work at Microsoft and I say this, but it's like for us to be able to hook up to on-prem, other public clouds so seamlessly and have it in a uniform location for management, security alerts, etc. That's a huge game changer when I learned about that originally. Mona's nodding her head off here. So yeah, just an amazing piece of technology.
it's not even posture management anymore, my friends. Like between us girls, right? There is a whole other world of Defender for Cloud out there. That, and Gartner's even got, new words for it. They're calling it CNAP, Cloud Native Application Protection, something, I think. But I really think if you haven't taken a look at what's going on with Defender for Cloud over the last 6 months, this last semester cycle has been a huge change. We're really excited.
I think they updated the Ninja training for Defender for Cloud. One of the Ninja trainings just got a recent update. So it might have been, I know OFAR did Sentinel because I saw it. But I'm not sure. But you're right. For me, I had a discussion today and had to do the soft shoe because I really talking about Defender for containers, right? And I luckily I was reading on that 2 days before, so when the question came up, I'm thinking, first of all, this is a coincidence, right? I just happened to read up on it, trying to help somebody out. But the Defender for everything, that's what's going to be pretty soon. Defender for everything, Defender for E. It's going to be the good stuff.
Defender for E5, A5, G5. Whatever.
Yeah.
They're coming out E7. It's going to happen.
It's my nightmare at the same time.
Yeah.
I want to see it, but I'm scared of all the things that are going to come our way. It already feels like a lot of information to manage, and I kind of wonder how you guys do that, because you're on the ground floor in this day in and day out, and I have a database to help me keep track, thankfully, but I just don't know how you all do it.
I want everybody else to give their other channels that they follow other than Sentinel, but how we do it, the way I keep up is by listening to the Microsoft Security Insights podcast.
Oh boy. Shameless plug on our own show.
I have no shame at all. So Martin, I think you were about to comment, in addition to the Sentinel stuff, there are some other channels that you made.
Well, I'm using today with a lot of my customers that are running maybe in an on-prem world. I'm actually using the whole security stack to manage both the cloud environment and also their on-prem environment. So I'm using 100% pure cloud way of managing everything. So I'm also using the Azure Arc, as you're saying. All my customers are running AMA. We're migrated away from MMA, and I've also started to look at the new EASM, the External Attack Surface Management tool, and I find it really a rockstar product. And I was working with one of the PMs the other day, and I must say there are a lot of opportunities in that product when you using the whole stack coming forward, and I'm really looking forward to that as well. So basically, for me, it's using the whole security stack that I love.
Mhm. And speaking of EASM, big shout out to Eric Snyder, friend of the show. Came on a couple of times to talk about that, as well as Defender for Threat Intel.
I can't wait to have him on more and get more into that, because what an amazing piece of technology. And I know, Raghu, you want to talk about what stream you're in, but like if anybody on this call has been working on with customers on that, like let's have you back for just a one big EASM/Defender TI call, because
I have 6 customers running it right now.
Really, Morton? That's awesome.
We have quite a few as well that are doing EASM. My shout outs for Doug, best PM on team. He's been great. It's great to work with.
Get Doug on the call.
We'll get him on the call. We got to have more follow-ups on that. I'm so intrigued on it, and I honestly just don't properly know how to actually use it and in day to day. And I'd love to dig more into that on a future call. So I'm looking forward to it. Raghu, my friend, I know you wanted to mention what streams you like to take part of.
Sure. So I think I'm part of not only just the Sentinel, Defender for Cloud and EASM and TI and 365 Defender. So it's very important for us, right? So even this community, I would say it's a win-win solution for both, right? It's because when we are implementing it for customers, it's very important for us to understand the roadmaps. What are the upcoming features, right? So this will help us when we are implementing something for the customers. At the same time, the real examples is even very important for Microsoft product managers when they are designing the product, right? So that's one thing. And I think COVID is really I would say COVID pandemic is a game changer. So I think what I noticed from my other customers, right? So COVID kind of changed and forced most of the customers to go remotely, right? So whether you like it or not. And I felt like everybody kind of rushed and started implementing all the tools to protect everything. But now, how do you stitch all these dots, right? I think that's where they're kind of struggling now, because I've seen like even customers, when we were doing this strategies, we do like a lot of E5 strategies, zero trust strategies, and we see like they're using like a bunch of siloed architecture tools, but and they're heavily dependent on third-party SIEM. And how do you connect this? They need to write a program or integrate something. But if you want to really take advantage of native features and leverage those kind of benefits, I feel like the core the main tool or company which will shine will be like Microsoft. There are a couple of other vendors, right? There are a couple of vendors.
There's no one else.
No,
there's no one else.
No, there's
no one else.
Exactly. No. See, there are few, but they'll cover only certain parts of it, right?
Oh.
But when you come to when you come to the you're talking about Windows machines and a lot of other things. But so to integrate with everything with the native, there's nothing.
I have been honestly surprised at how great some of the native networking stuff has gotten, right? Like Azure Firewall, some of the DDoS stuff. Not historically something that I would have even considered or thought about to do. But I think that those ones have been, they really have kind of measured up more than some of those other product solutions too.
This is what even sometimes I tell some customers, whether you like it or not, this is a solution. It's a question of, when you are implementing it, whether now or later. Because I know like a few customers, they kind of had a siloed architecture, and they had some threat, and they were trying to figure out, where it started and how it started, and trying to work with the multiple companies, and even trying to update all these integrations. Somewhere it's it's not working, and they were heavily dependent on SIEM, and I think that's where I think Mona was also talking about Defender for Cloud, right? I think the customers started realizing the importance of XDR. So far they are thinking like, okay, fine, we have a SIEM, fine, SIEM is going to take care of everything. No, even though no matter whether you have a SIEM, you need to have this XDR in place. So right, so EDR, XDR, SIEM. So,
Someone asked me today while I was presenting, what does XDR stand for? I said the X is a variable. Plug in whatever you want right there. I was like, don't know. So I said X means you just insert whatever it is, and we can get it in the Sentinel.
I like that.
Right.
X is a variable, not a. It's
Yeah.
not actually. It doesn't actually.
Because I
stand
didn't know
for
that.
anything.
I didn't know the answer. I'm like,
I mean,
just means you.
yeah, extended,
Right.
but extended starts with an E, so I never really got that one
Right.
either.
It's like extreme extended O's. X.
X.
Yeah, it's way better. Way better.
And-
So
and-
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I just wanted to add one more thing. So this is kind of funny. I was talking to one of our customer a couple of months back, and he was like, "Oh, I don't like Sentinel. They tried some POC, and it's not up to mark." Then I was like, "Okay, when did you implement it?" And they were like, "Oh, we tested like last year." Things are changing rapidly, right? The Sentinel, even compared to last couple of months to now, it's different. Right?
I
think
called that
that's-
out in the Magic Quadrant this year for SIM, right? One of the differentiators of Sentinel was the fact that the roadmap has just been breakneck pace, and they've been
Right.
really great at executing, right?
Right.
Delivering features.
Well, and the big reason for that is the folks and all of your colleagues that work in the private preview program, because when Sentinel was released in September 2019, what was released was our vision. And then from then till now, it's literally what our customers' vision has been. Oh, this works great. This doesn't work great. This needs to be fixed. We would love to have this feature. So what you see today and what Gardner actually announced as part of the Magic Quadrant is what you guys put together, which I think is pretty significant.
And that's so true, because Sentinel and Defender for Cloud started this program. I remember when I was hired just under 4 years ago, they said, "Hey, we have this idea. We should do private previews. Can you look into it?" And so I remember going to those feature PMs and saying, "You want to be my guinea pig? You want to try something like this and see if we can make it happen?" And it started with them. And I will tell you, from day one, those teams, all they cared about was, what's the feedback? What do we build next? What's the feedback? What do we build next? And they were like that from the day that, they really founded the product.
I love that. I love this circular feedback that we consistently have. This agile, the agile methodology where it's not, here's version 1 and then you take 2 years to build version 2. It just doesn't work like that anymore.
Yeah. So let me ask a question. I'll tier this to Bill. I know Blue Voyant, but I saw the lost track. How many actually work for? Well, I guess you all work for partners, right? In some form or fashion, right? What is your interaction between helping customers deploy it where they handle it, or is your slant more MSSP managed XDR slant? Bill, what about your company? How do you go about it?
So I guess we're a little bit different here in New Zealand. Health NZ's a government department, so we're not an MSSP as for such, but we do work with all the hospitals here in a big partnership. So for us, I guess it's very collaborative. We do use the MSSP model because it works. Gives control of technology. The partners have control of their technology, and then the national SOC sort of lays over the top in a collaborative environment. So we will work together. So I guess it's a bit different, compared to Blue Voyant, where it's very much a sort of traditional MSSP model.
I don't know. We're not that traditional. We don't host our customers' SIM data. No, I'm serious. We don't host our customers' SIM data. We use our customers' own SIMs, right? So we're a little bit not. I think in the traditional MSSP model, they're more like, give us all of your data. We'll put it in some data lake. It may or may not be running, in Microsoft world even at all, right? Where one of the things I think we have done differently is focus on using the customer's SIM, using their own Azure infrastructure and not hosting it for them. But
which is why sort of, not deliberate, but this is how Sentinel sort of came up.
It's why Sentinel is taking off. I really think so. Absolutely. You can't do this with other SIMs in the same way.
So what was
I don't know.
Microsoft Sentinel's original name before it was officially announced as Sentinel? Who wins the free chicken sandwich?
There's a show promotion in there somewhere, I think.
Show promotion, yeah, maybe. So
Was it called Security Insights? Don't tell me that's what it was called.
Microsoft Security Insights, yeah.
No, it wasn't.
Was it really? I didn't know that.
All right, I'll take my chicken sandwich with barbecue sauce.
Actually, she doesn't get it. You jump. See, Rod was the plant. He got you to bite on the wrong answer. The actual one, Kristina, correct me if I'm incorrect. It was called Azure Security Insights.
Oh, of course.
I first saw it with Tel Aviv in NYC, and I forgot the gentleman that invited me. He said, "Hey, you want to learn this?" Because I used to be on a project called Fish Hunter. If you're at Microsoft, you remember what Fish Hunter was, no matter. And I also have a slide I can only share with the Microsoft folks. The 4 other names that were considered. Kristina, I know you know. I looked at it. I shared with you, didn't I, Rob?
I don't think so. I'm looking back at my notes because I know that this was a conversation. These are always very interesting conversations that happen about naming.
Well, if you look at our namespaces for Sentinel, it's still Security Insights. If you look at the namespaces, right?
Yeah. If you go through, I was looking at something. There's some stuff that still says.
You're right. Yeah, absolutely. Some of the APIs say that too.
Exactly.
I just connected that in my head. That's wild.
And they say the Defender for Cloud still says, God, I'm having a senior moment. Azure Security Center.
Azure Security Center. Yeah.
I saw it come up. So, with that, I'm going to pivot one more quick question around the MSSP model. I've found that Sentinel has driven a faster adoption and enhancement of Lighthouse, because I'm seeing that now the Sentinel partners say, yes, this is good, but Lighthouse needs to do this. Are you guys finding that the delegation for the Lighthousing of your customers is keeping up with the request for what you're trying to do? Or is it sort of in sync? Because that came up today about road mapping for Lighthouse. I'm like, totally out of my wheelhouse, right? I over my head about that. Any comments about the MSP model, the way you're achieving your success with Azure Lighthouse? Is it keeping pace to Sentinel? Is it Sentinel is, well, they're not in competition. Any comments around that? And this is only coming from a customer today that asked me. I didn't have an answer, so I asked the experts. Anybody have any horror stories with Lighthouse or any kudos for Lighthouse? Is it doing?
We love Lighthouse. Yeah, no. What the part that stinks is that there's still a separate Microsoft answer and a separate Azure answer, right? Because M365 Lighthouse is still for SMB. Or SMC really only, and it would be nice if instead of GDAP and yet another tool and functionality to get that same level of parity or that sort of access granting concept. Lighthouse just should work for everything. I mean, I just wish there was like a everything Lighthouse.
We can talk offline. You and I are in the same place, but the reason is not technology. Why is it in SMB and not enterprise when it's generally the other way? It has something to do with the business, right?
I can't imagine that we are the only ones saying, why does an M365 Lighthouse work for enterprise customers? Anybody in the crowd, if you feel like there should be M365 Lighthouse, please just put it in the chat.
Yeah. No, this has been my
thank you
torchbearer moment since I joined the private preview team, because we've been using Lighthouse from the start. Same model as you probably in BlueVoyant, where we use our customers' workspaces, and we don't use the MSSP design, so we don't hide our analytic rules or workbooks or playbooks. We cooperate, like Bill said, with the customers, try to create good stuff because Sentinel enables that. But Lighthouse has given us some headaches in terms of like, if we want to install, and now cursing in the church, sorry for this, but if you want to use a product like Sentinel-1, we can pivot from all of our customers directly into Sentinel-1 for all of our customers. If we're using Microsoft 365 Defender for endpoint, we can't do that. We have to use like separate accounts, identity governance, extra setup. So there's a gap there.
And hope you don't hit any conditional access policies or extra ASR rules that the customer may have implemented for things like, non-domain joined devices.
I was taking punches on this very thing on stage today. They're like, I'm not the program manager. I don't know why, but someone put me to the side at Microsoft and said, it's not technology. It's actually an afterthought business thing. I'll share with the guys. I'll take it with a grain of salt what was told to me, but I think that people are listening. So we'll see what's going on with that. I had another question here, but I'm gonna save it. I'm gonna save my question to the very, very last.
Okay, you got to get the last word, Edward. Yeah, that's fair, buddy.
I don't get it at home. My wife doesn't let me get the last word. I got to get it somewhere, right?
I hear you. I hear you. What about Fonz with his new audio and video? You got a question, Mr. Rod?
Oh, do I have a question? Well, yeah, jumping back to the private preview because I love the program myself. I think it's awesome. What's your favorite part of the private preview program, each of you? I mean, is it well, Kristina's not here now, so we can talk about her. Well, is it working with Kristina because she's awesome? Is it working with the PMs? Is it having that direct access? Is it because I remember the old days, when I was testing betas and all kinds of stuff. I loved being a beta tester. It was just so cool, and then it was something to brag about a little bit. But what's your favorite part of the private preview program?
So I would say, roadmap sessions for sure.
Yeah, the roadmap sessions, though. Those are always fun.
I love that they actually know what they're asking for, right? A lot of times, if somebody's just like, try this, and you're like, try it for what? Try it for what? What do you want out of it, right? What do you want me to do? Just poke it? Every single one, and I think this is like a new thing this year. All of the feature PMs have really nice write-ups. What exactly do you want us to test? What do you want us to try? In what form, right? Some of them have surveys attached to them, or various other sorts of like feedback mechanisms. You can request a one-on-one session, if you want during any part of any of those, right? Like those are my favorite parts. Is like I'm not just shooting in the dark. Someone's asking me for feedback on a very specific thing, which as like an engineer brain, it's just nice.
Well, and that feedback's important because I don't know if you noticed this week, we're starting to put time commitments on some of these private previews too. So, how much more involvement has to be. So so even the private preview program, all your feedback helps.
I don't want to steal somebody's thunder. I want everybody to go through, and I'll give you what my favorite piece is.
Yeah.
Right? That I've gotten because I have my own lab of what my customers are telling me. So, Bill, what's your favorite?
I guess it's working with the PMs, but also you get to give feedback and provide comments around the overall direction of the product and its components and capability. So for me, when I was doing it, I was really testing the features and then providing feedback. Is this going to be added in? Is this not? Is there going to be other ideas that align to my own, depending on Sentinel playbooks or whatever is testing within the private preview, or sort of across all of it. So, we'll try to be across all of it. There's so much in there, but
Raghu?
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, roadmap sessions and also the deep dives, and the PMs are really, very active. Whenever we need anything, right? So you can just, reach them in the chat, and of course, all the badges, right? So you're even creating back, right? So kind of efforts we're putting it and receiving something back. So it's definitely great, and most importantly, right? So irrespective of whether we get a badges or not, right? So this is what even I keep telling others too. Just be active, and so you will understand what's going on in this product, right? So if you want to invest your time and efforts on the product, which is really growing, right? Because it's changing rapidly, like day by day, right? So like I said, Sentinel today is different from last month. It's very important to upgrade yourself and keep learning, what's coming up.
Yeah, did you guys see the new tasks, incident tasks feature just got added? I would love to talk about that. I want to know what everyone thinks about that one too.
Martin, your favorite?
My favorite, well, I have a lot of areas that I really love. The first one is that being part of the community gives me some trust with my customers, because they can ask, and maybe I can guide them in a better way that I know that is coming. And some of these customers are also betting 100% on Microsoft Stack, and they find that it gives them some a trust that they can actually bring it to the product team if there are any concerns or any things that they would like in the product. And so the distance from being a customer to the product team is very, very short. And so it is very easy to influence if you need something, or having some kind of feature that are maybe not in the product. So that is one thing I think is important. And also being able to, of course, give some feedback on a day-to-day basis. And also maybe, for example, here we're talking a lot about security, where some of the angles that I'm also touching on is, for example, cost and operation. So that's often some issues in the discussions, because maybe you want to go in a security way where you want to basically enable everything, but often the customers are also having concerns about the cost, or they want to have an operation angle to the same type of data. And we need to bring all these different angles together. And that's where the product needs to get twisted a little bit. So that's often the discussion that I have. So kind of a 360 discussion around everything. Whereas, of course, I know the topic is security, but we need to deal with all the things.
That's fair.
All the things. And last but not least,
DCRs do that too. I feel like I had that same conversation.
Yeah.
Last but not least, tools.
Yeah.
Well, hold on, Brody. I'm trying. You know, it's hard for me with names.
It sounded
Did I
like
say-
you said tools. Like,
Yeah, the R disappeared there somewhere. No,
it's
it's
Rules.
not
fine,
just me.
it's
It's not just me. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Really.
Edward.
I'm trying, man. I
I
can
know,
barely
man.
say my own name, right?
I love you, buddy. I love you. You go ahead, Truls. Yes, please.
Yeah. So for me, it's a lot of different things. Most of them have been mentioned already, so I'm not going to go over them again. But the people is really cool. So there's a lot of really talented people. There's a lot of really complex and unique problems that come up every so often, and I think my favorite part is trying to contribute to helping people solve those problems, free of charge, of course. So if you need anything, just DM me. But no, I've been spending so much time with the Sentinel part of it that when I can help, I try to. And then there's a lot of other people I will ask for help, and they've spent a lot of time on another product, and they will give me some really valuable insights. And so the community that's going on in the peer chats is, I think, obviously the PMs doing a great job and being able to influence the product and test it and see if it's good. Very nice, but also just talking with so many talented and brilliant people that will just help you find the solution when you're stuck on your own. It's really, really valuable for me, at least.
Yeah.
Hey, Morton, before we turn over to Ed so he gets the last word. Morton, you said something that was absolutely super important to me. And so it actually brings up a question. I hate to kind of do this, but I think it's necessary. How many of you have ever been an MVP or are a Microsoft MVP at the moment? All right.
I wish I was. I'm ready to be one.
So Truls, you know what it's like to be an MVP, and you know what it's like to be part of the private preview program. Morton was talking about, hey, I'm in front of the customer and they're looking to me to get some things solved because they know I have this connection. Is it the same type of connection that you get as a Microsoft MVP, or maybe has the private preview program potentially evolved beyond and maybe something a little bit better in that respect?
So I'm a pretty fresh MVP.
Okay.
Only been a couple of months, but no, I think it's easier to get into. It's I'm a part of the M365 and the M365 Defender community, as Raghu said, and also the Identity Advisors community. and I've been having troubles getting into all of them because it hasn't been as engaging. And same for some of the MVP engagements. So I think in that aspect, the security community is doing something very right, because when you enter the door, it's really easy to just jump into things and see, and it's very easy to like get hands-on, drop a feature flag in Azure and just start testing. And that's the barrier to entry is really, really low. I think that's very important. For the MVP program, the barrier is perhaps a bit higher, unfortunately. So it's not something everyone gets to enjoy. But I think the security community will allow you to participate as sort of an MVP if you want to in like product development. That's really good.
Yeah.
And that was my comment about that whole question. For my customers, the number one thing they like about this, the ones that do join, said you can join very easily. A lot of these previews, they go look at you. How much are you consuming of their product? Are you an influencer? They look at other things like licensing, how many skilled individuals. With this program, it seems like you join it and your participation determines whether you're an influencer or you are an industry expert. I like the low-hanging fruit. The MVP program, sure. Sooner or later, Frank Grimberg's going to get admitted.
I know. When Rod brought it up, I'm like, oh, Frank.
Frank's going to eat himself.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that, but yeah. He will.
I want him. I've nominated him before. We've nominated him before multiple times.
Multiple times.
Frank deserves it. Absolutely. Yeah.
He does. So we'll figure it out. I know that we're up against it, and some of us are in some time zones that are challenging right now. But I'd like to allow anyone to have the last word, and then I'm going to ask my final word on it. A question to everyone on here, right? So we'll start from Raghu and go like this until we go. Any closing comments, sir?
Yeah, so definitely, all the PMs are doing a great job. So I would definitely encourage everyone to join this community. It's okay, if you're not even contributing it, at least, you can learn from the deep dive recorded sessions, and you can go through the roadmap sessions and what's going on and everything, right? So it's going to be very helpful when you're working with a customer or implementing the solutions with them, or even just for your own career growth, right? So that's all I can say that. And this is the company where you need to focus down the line, no matter what, right? So whether you like it or not, Microsoft is going to be the cybersecurity company, the topmost company, right?
You will not be able to have a security initiative or program without including Microsoft. No longer the blunt of the joke. You cannot have it, because if someone comes and they're not having the security discussion that includes Microsoft,
right,
another partner will. Bill,
right.
My buddy from down under, close
And
enough.
I just wanted to, if you don't mind, I just wanted to say one more thing, right? And I just wanted to add one more thing, right? So with the COVID, we've been thinking like all the cybersecurity, right? I feel like, this is a new phase of, the cybersecurity, right? It's just getting started, right? So you're introducing a lot of IoTs and automation and a lot of other things, right? And earlier, right? So IoTs and the actual things are like separated, and the threat was like more on outside, through the VPN, but now it's like everywhere. So it's increasing day by day, right? So I think it's just a new phase, of the cybersecurity. And
I might write a blog about that. Maybe you and I collaborate on a blog, how the pandemic was good for cybersecurity. Not diminishing the actual human impact, but what it did to advance cybersecurity awareness as a whole.
So it's, in short, right? If someone is looking for a career in cybersecurity, then I would say, focus on Microsoft.
Yeah. Thank you, Raghu. We got to have you on more often to pump up our tires. We appreciate it.
Yeah, we do, man. We got to do that.
Anytime. Yeah.
Bill, your turn, sir.
So I guess, for anyone listening, definitely get involved in this. I couldn't imagine a better place as a collaborative environment. If you definitely want to be a part of, sort of the roadmap and the direction of these products, this is definitely the place to be.
Okay.
Thanks, Bill.
Truls?
Oh, it's me. I misunderstood the way the snake was moving. Sorry. Yeah, no, it's more people definitely join in. It's really cool. And if anyone sees me on there and has any questions at all that I might help with, just reach out. I just love talking security to people. It's what I enjoy doing. So definitely, yeah. And as Raghu said, just join in and look. You'll learn so much. So many brilliant people there. So yeah, join up.
Cool. And Edward, you nailed the name. I think I just want to call that out. Excellent.
At the very end, right? I apply myself. I'm a hard worker.
You're
right?
a learner. You've got a growth mindset. Yeah, Morton, buddy.
Well,
I can imagine Truls getting up the call and go, "Damn Americans," and they get like, yeah. But don't feel slighted. I do this to everybody. I don't know
It's
why.
like the running joke on every call. We get him to say the name first, and it's amazing. So thank you for adding to the the overall repertoire of Edward.
We sometimes say it wrong so that he thinks that's how it's said. So
yeah, pretty much, and that's okay. That's okay. Every dog has his day. Mr. Martin.
Yeah, well, I also wanted to say that it's a fantastic program to be part of, and I'm also hoping moving forward that we will see even more tighter work between the different teams working on security, like M365 teams and Azure teams as well. And I've had numerous talks around these topics, like how many secure score do we need? One is enough, like an example of that. But I really loved to work with with you guys on this, and also all the talk that we can have together, partner to partner and partner to customer, and learning. And I love to contribute to this. Like Kristina was saying, I'm also spending a lot of time investing money and time to go and visit the PMs. I'm going to Redmond, for example, in week 6. I was in Israel in May, and to meet with these PMs and to learn and to give some more feedback. So that's part of being part of this is to give feedback. So I love being part of it. It's good.
That's awesome. That's so cool. You get to go and visit everybody. That's amazing. What a great connection you must have with some amazing professionals around the world. That's really cool, Morton.
Especially now when you can tie a face to the voice and see them in person, right? Because I'm not really here. I'm a bot, right? GP3. I'm a bot. I'm not really here, right? Ed left 5 minutes ago. Pretty realistic.
Beta version, though. We got to work on it.
That's why you got the name right. I knew it. I knew there was something.
That's called machine learning.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. There you go. So, Mona, close us out. What?
I think you can start small with the private community. I think the best part is, like, if you are asynchronous, you're in a different time zone, start with surveys. Get on the weekly newsletter. They do such a good job consolidating what's going on in the world. Shout out to Rod Trent's, weekly newsletter too. It's great. But the private security community also has, they put out, like, here are all the open things to work out. And some of the things, Rod always cross-references to in his newsletter. So I'd say start small, start passive, right? Participate in 1 or 2 surveys, get involved, realize how easy it is to contribute. A lot of times I just fill out the ones that say, hey, we want to talk to you. And then when the product team, gets around to it, they just contact me, and, they are willing to set up time one-on-one to talk. Right. So, start small, start participating. And then, as you start feeling more comfortable, there are so many ways to participate.
Absolutely. Every reason that you gave is one of my reasons why I like it. Plus, I have my own little personal lab. If I need to get in, its size doesn't really equate to your acceptance or not, right? It's just like, hey, are you going to get in here? And it's what you make of it. Some days I'm super active, some days I'm not. But if I am in, most of the time, if I'm trying to contribute, it's around. It's going to be in line to this question I'm about to ask everybody. So, who wants to go first with this this super question that I have. Who wants to volunteer for the question?
You're gonna get a volunteer before the question. I like that. Okay.
Who wants to go first?
My mom used to say, "You don't volunteer for anything before you know what it is, because you could end up scrubbing toilets." So what's
your mom's dropping some knowledge here? That's
knowledge.
No volunteer for anything you don't know about first. I want to know the question.
So who wants to go first?
Should we draw straws?
You can't scrub toilets over the internet, people. Someone just put up their hand. It can't be that bad.
Yeah, I can go first. That's fine.
There you go.
Okay. This man wins swag. Here's the question. Excluding Sentinel, out of the following choices, which is your favorite product from the Microsoft security stack? Microsoft Defender for Identity, Microsoft Defender for Endpoint, Microsoft Defender for Cloud Apps or MDA, Microsoft Defender for Office 365, and we'll put in a dark horse. We'll put Defender for Cloud. If you had to deploy one product first, which one would you put in first?
That's really easy for me. That's Defender for Cloud, without a doubt. I don't work with workstations. That's not my job. I work with the cloud security, and so Defender for Cloud is by far the easiest for me to enable there. Someone else will probably take one of the other products now. So it's also you gotta add Defender for TI to that list. That's
we do. This is no slight to the Defender for Threat Intel, because they are friends of the show. The Risk IQ guys are great. You got to hang out with them. They're fun to hang out with, right? All right, okay, that's a good one. Who's next? Now that everybody's not afraid of the question, right?
Toilets here.
So if I was gonna, so since it's not toilets, I'll go ahead and answer. So you asked what would I deploy first? I would start with some of the identity stuff. So combination of identity protection and MDI. Especially with some of the new ability to take action and the more user-based, we were talking about XDR before, right? But, those user-based response actions that now you don't actually have to do the GMSA account for is amazing, right? And I will be creating, I guess, an MSSP offering around this sometime in 2025. So stay tuned. But really, no, I really think identity is the place to start, and identity is such a great differentiator. We were talking a little bit about differentiators when it comes to implementing a cybersecurity program for customers who have Microsoft technology. So that would be my choice.
Great. All right, Bill. I'm now. I went from volunteering to volunteering.
You're volunteering.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I'm probably going to say Defender for Endpoint over workstations and servers.
Okay.
That's probably,
You have some fans of that. If did Frank ever flip? Because that used to be his thing. Or did he flip over to MDO? I can't remember.
I don't think he flipped to MDO. Well, maybe he did. So folks, this is a long-running, hilarious question we've asked to drive wedges between people and
create discord.
Create discord and also get some insights. And Defender for it's a really tough question. I think it evolves every month. But Bill, traditionally, I work with that solution the most in my current role. And if you're not on a computer using an endpoint, then you got to protect it, right? Got to protect it. So I hear you, bud. And part of Defender for Cloud, Truls is probably said that wrong. Specialty there. So good time.
Yeah.
Good time.
Did you guys see Truls Flex? I don't work with workstations.
Yeah, I did see that. I love that. Workstation.
I don't know. Yeah, that was such
What's a workstation? I'm like, okay.
Yeah. Call me when it's about SQL. Call me about
computers. Raghu, you sir.
That's tough. You can't pick a favorite from your kids, right? So to me, right, it's a you can. So for me, it's like a preference, right? So a ranking, I would say that. So since most of the attacks can start from emails or identities, I would go with MDO and MDI, then followed by the other things. I would say that it's just not like a picking it; it's just a preference and the ranking. I would say that.
Yeah,
Fair.
it just impact what you believe, and it's always going to be customer centric, right? What are their immediate needs or what they're doing, right? So we got to go
Right.
with that. So I great answer on that. So Martin,
Yeah. Yeah. Well, for me, I would also stick with the MDE, the Defender for Endpoint. That's probably what I often start with. But for me, it's also not just enabling the technology. For me, it's also helping the customers with the processes and making the organization changes so that they can adapt to these new ways of working. Because it is a game changer to work with cloud technologies because of the involvement that are in there. So for me, it's technology, it's processes, and people together. Working together, and they have to follow each other. So for me, it's not just enabling the technology; it's getting on all the three different tracks. But the Defender for Endpoint, having like goals with secure goal, celebrating when you hit like 70, 80, and moving forward, and making a fun project out of it. It's really fun to be part of. And
Well put.
Very
I
good.
really love, by the way, just huge call out to your people, process, and technology. So yeah, while this was a technology-centric question that Edward asked, it's got to be a combination of all three to really drive value and outcomes. So really good point, Morton.
Yeah. I like solutioning, and coming from a consulting background, you learn so much from customers if you really listen. They sound like impossible requests and scenarios, but if you listen without trying to solve the problem in advance, you really learn some stuff. So thank you for that. So Brody, what about you?
Oh man. For me, yeah, I'm going to stick with Defender for Endpoint because not only is that primarily what I work on, so I'm biased. However, I just think that hook into other solutions, whether it's data loss prevention or syncing up with what are the other things I'm trying to think of? Identity, like having Defender for Endpoint.
MDA, yeah,
MDA,
Cloud Apps.
right?
Yeah.
Exactly. Thank you. MDA, previously Defender for Cloud Apps. The hook on the endpoint to all of these cloud technologies for enforcement, for detection on multiple fronts is essential, right? And I love it when I have the conversation with customers. Yeah, you're here, it's an EDR, blah, 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 does all this stuff. But then it really is an enabler for this broader spectrum of connectivity across the different security, compliance, and identity technologies. Kind of like building on what Raghu was saying there. Microsoft's got an all-up solution stack that natively integrates. And anytime I get to put an MDE on something, it's like, oh, now my job's easier, and the customer is going to have an easier time integrating with all these other amazing.
Okay, but how did you deploy those endpoints? What's your favorite? Are we a GPO family? Intune?
Intune. We always push cloud over at Microsoft.
Right.
We do everything through Intune. Yeah, but there's other ways, of course. I'm just dabbling into Defender for Cloud, Mona, with a government customer. So yeah. Yeah, Edward, you want to ask Rod, and then I know what your answer is, so we'll leave you to the end.
Roderick.
I'm gonna step away from the discussion for a second, and I'm not gonna deploy a product or a solution. I'm gonna start with MFA and conditional access policy, and then start thinking about deploying products.
Love it.
So
yeah.
we're playing Switzerland, Geneva. I'm not taking a side. I got it.
Well, it's not fair because he makes all of us be like, oh, well, you guys are all.
Oh, wow. Yeah. No, he's right.
Andrew's not here tonight. So I
got the votes. No. I've already got Andrea and Frank's vote, and I have it right here, the official paper right here. So here's the score, because everything's about winning and losing in America. There you go. MDI 1.5 because Mona said that, and Raghu said MDO and MDI, so 1.5. MDO 0.5 because he gave two answers, so great. MDE 1, 2, 3. Let me see. Yeah, we'll give it 5, 4. There you go. Yeah. So, and Defender for Cloud is a 1.
Yeah, because he works on workstations.
He works on
Yeah.
That's going to be my tagline when I go through. When the salesperson goes, "Hey Ed, we need you to come on and talk about MDE," It's not for workstations, is it?
Yeah.
I like it. We're making fun of you, man, because we like it. Hey, so
Either that or Linux, right? Would you rather answer the question about Linux support? Because
I'm not getting into that. So, and the winner by a blowout is Microsoft Defender for Cloud Apps, because I voted for it. Frank sent his in for that. Andrew sent in for that too. No, I'm just kidding. So my employment here at Microsoft was based on me knowing two products that was in its infancy out of acquisition was ATA at the time, and then Adelon had theirs, right? And so I've been a big fan of MCAS, cut my teeth on it years ago, still a fan of the product, and so it's a running joke here. But if I had to give an honest answer about mine now, it's MDI, especially after following Eric Manning at, oh my God, his blogs are awesome.
isn't he great? He is just one of our rock stars. Big
Yes.
shout out, Eric, if you're listening. He's great.
And then we had Thomas Neumann on from Germany last week, and his blog series is going to be 3 parts. So we've already talked about one part. He's going to come back on. He's going to put it all together on how MDI, Azure Active Directory, and how you use that to protect your identities and data governance, right? You can predict a lot of things if you watch that, right? So the entire suite is mine. MDE, I like it on servers. I like the flavor.
Right. I love how you're just adopting this now because you want to be the cool guy. But yeah.
I know, right? I want to be with the cool guys, right?
Yeah.
They get invited to all the parties. Well, everyone, thank you for the most valuable currency that you can spend, which is your time, right? Especially for those who are in different time zones, family, and everything else. You can tell we have a passion for the show. Thank you, Brody. Thank you, Rod. Thank Frank. Thank Andrea. Thank all of our guests who have been on. We're also going to have a grateful episode and guest of Christmas, a show's past. I forget the title. Something.
Clearly. It's guests of shows past.
Spirits of security shows past. There you go.
I read the briefing when I step on the podium, not a moment before.
Here's the teleprompter.
That's it. So anyone on this call is always welcome to come back on the show. You don't have to be invited. Please join our Discord if you're not. Join our Twitch channel, as well as make sure all of you guys, if you're, and girls and team, if you're not following each other on LinkedIn, let's follow each other. I love reading everybody else's perspective, right? It really makes me think about stuff and helps me in solutioning. Thanks to all our listeners, all our supporters, all our viewers. Thanks to Microsoft Reactor for the great year so far that we've had with them, looking to continue to work with them. And with that, everyone gets to say goodbye in their native language. Morten?
Farvel.
Truls?
Farvel.
Bill?
See you, mate.
Raghu?
It's been a long time, so because we have so many languages, but I would say no. Bye.
Bye. What about
that's how we use it.
Let me guess. So
here we go.
So even we don't use our native language, when we say that, we should just say
Firmalinge?
See you later or whatever, right? So we use the
Firmalinge. That's Hindi. My neighbor taught me that.
But I'm from the south part of it, so
Okay. Everyone.
Wait, I didn't get to go.
So he covered you, right? So
No, Khodafez. I'm Persian.
I did that's what you bought it.
I'll say goodbye in Farsi to everybody. So Khodafez Hamegi.
Oh, that's cool.
Thank you.
We are the international show. Right?
Absolutely.
I will pop up on you guys if ever I'm on your side of the world. Bill, I will come over there. I'll find you.
Especially Bill. He's going to row over from Australia.
He's going to row over.
Let's do it. Yeah. That would be a Guinness World Record or something. Maybe.
He's got old man strength. I wouldn't put it past him.
I am an old man. The strength is waning. I'll tell you that. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for this. This has been a very, very great session. Thanks for the support of the private community. I know Kristina is really appreciative and grateful for each and every one of you and all of your input that you put in. Big shout out to Kristina. Kristina, quick. She's she is super available and ultra responsive. That is when it comes to bedside manner, if she was a doctor, she'd be excellent. Absolutely, she would be. So, everyone, until next week, which will be, what's the 21st? What's the next one, Hans? 21st, maybe?
Good math. 21st, yep.
Man, you'd be surprised, man.
It's our Christmas episode. It's our Christmas episode. So,
you think I got time to grow my beard out like Ren before?
Yeah.
Have you seen Ren?
Ren
Yeah, he's
actually
awesome.
does play Santa for Christmas.
Every
I
year,
found out. I did not know that.
He looks
God
real
bless.
Santini this year. Real Santini. And he gets paid for that. He makes good money doing
and that is a word.
I'm ready. I'm ready to be Santa. Anybody who wants a Santa that looks like this, give me a call.
that. Okay.
As long as we get the gifts.
All right.
Everybody have a good night. And Rod, I don't know how to close the show without kicking everybody
okay.
out.
Thank you, everyone. We'll talk to you next week.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Oh, that was easy.